Welcome to Redbeard Radio. I'm Brian Keith, and today we are talking about geofencing. That is where you can deliver content based on where in the world someone is. This has implications for how you do your marketing in general, and especially where you're spending your ad money. To guide us through this maze, we have Justin Croxton of Propellant Media, who we're going to go learn all about. Justin, welcome to the show.
Brian, it's a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
Now I'm excited because I have toyed with, investigated a whole bunch of geofencing kind of things, but I've never put significant ad money behind it or included geofencing as a serious part of any campaign I've done. So I would say I'm geofence adjacent. I have some concept, but I've never actually done a thing like we're going to go send out our emails, a million emails, but we're going to separate it into zip code and we're going to customize what's in your email based on zip code.
Right.
Or like that. So I'd love to hear from you, Justin, for people who are even heard that example and say, wait, what? What is a simple example that people can really easily grasp for how to use geofencing?
Yeah, absolutely. So geofencing is the practice of serving ads to people in very, very precise areas. I mean, all the way down to the contours of a building. So a lot of times, let's say, for example, let's say you're a car dealership. Best example I can give. You're a car dealership. You come to Propellant Media, you come to any other ad agency, you say, hey, I want to target other people who are likely to be in market looking to buy a car. And so as the advertiser, you may say, all right, well, naturally there's a number of different, platforms that you can tap into, but with geofencing, naturally, you would want to reach other people who are in market looking to buy a car. And so a lot of times what we'll do for those auto dealers is we'll build virtual fences using our technology platform literally around other car dealerships that are nearby. Let's say there's like 10 other car dealers. When someone walks inside of that car dealer, one of your competitors, we're able to capture what's called your mobile device ID and begin serving ads to you on mobile apps and websites. So if you think about Angry Birds, Words with Friends, The Weather Channel, Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, Daily Mail, it's kind of like site retargeting, but in the physical world. And we're effectively serving ads to you because you went to a car dealer. 7 to 8 times out of 10, you're most likely to be in market looking to buy a car, unless you're an employee or you're going to the auto repair part of the dealership. But in that case, that's essentially the essence of geofencing. We're leveraging your location, which is telling me more about you being in market, you as an audience, all those different things, using those insights into your intent to buy. That's effectively what geofencing is all about.
What kind of ROI are people seeing who switch from more generic ad strategies to a geofenced focused ad strategy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We've had certain clients that have had, 5 to 7x ROI. And I'll be honest, we've had some clients that it hasn't worked out as well. And I think, for a lot of the folks that I talk to, folks will say, oh man, this is going to be the penicillin that's going to solve all my marketing problems. And I say, no, that is not how you should be looking at geofencing. Geofencing does work really well in certain industries as standalone tactics, but I think personally it's best served as part of an omni-channel marketing strategy. So what I mean by that, for example, Propellant Media, we may run Google ads, but we also run like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or a site retargeting campaign. We might also implement a little bit of geofencing to reach people at the top of the funnel to get them working down towards the lower part of the funnel from a marketing perspective. And so I say that to everybody to say, geofencing is not going to be the penicillin that's going to solve all your marketing problems. However, it is an incredibly effective marketing tool to reach that person who is in market, and then you tap into other strategies that continues to get your message in front of those individuals, like getting that same person that walked into a geofence. You can also target that person on Facebook and Instagram, where that person might be even more engaged during that time frame, for example. So that's sort of the way that I personally look at it, rather than, this geofencing thing is going to solve all of my marketing problems. That's really how I look at it.
Let's look at some scenarios and you tell me terrible idea or great idea. Let's say I'm selling a high-end healthcare product where you might want this product if you are having health issues, but you also need to be in the top 10% of net worth to afford it. Does it make sense then to find out where do people who fit those criteria go and say, if you walk into the local hospital, And also, I have some demographic data about your income. Combining those two to run ads, or is that an inappropriately specific application of the tech?
No, you can certainly apply it to in that instance. I will say that from a PII perspective, there are certain cases where you can't necessarily target people based on knowing their prognosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so an example might be if you said, hey, I have this great product and I want to target people at an abortion clinic. You can't really do that. But let's say, for example, if you are trying to sell remote controls and you want to target people that are going to remote control repair centers, that is more thinking about it from that perspective where the application absolutely does make sense. And the industries that we've seen it work really well in are service-based, but more directly higher education, retail, brick and mortar, restaurant. If you're a car dealership, it does really, really well for real estate developers. Part of the reason is we'll have a developer come to us and say, we want to geofence other communities that are currently under construction. Why does that make sense? Because
Oh.
people that are going to those other communities are naturally in market looking to buy a home because that community is under construction. And their average customer value for the community that is the advertiser, I mean, they're not selling like a $5 product. They're selling a $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 product here. So getting some level of awareness and getting those people into their funnel where someone clicks on one of their ads, they're then able to leverage some form of Facebook site retargeting or Google ad site retargeting. You're then able to reach that person further down the funnel because they were in market looking to buy a home. That's sort of some of the different opportunities that are available with geofencing.
This is fascinating, and I'm thinking about a bazillion applications of this. Like for one of my businesses, I train lenders how to make better loans, and by I mean I have a team of trainers. And I'm thinking, well, right, I know that there's conferences out there that are just for directors, chief credit officers, that kind of thing. These are known places at known times where I'm thinking, well, yeah, besides targeting them on LinkedIn and cold calling and direct mail and all that, I'm thinking, well, yeah, what if I had a geofenced ad strategy that also said, okay, well, I'm going to go serve ads to people. Like there's this 2-day conference. There's a handful of them. There's not that even that many. Is
Yeah,
that a reasonable use of geofencing?
it is. We actually do a lot of work in the B2B conference space where clients will say, hey, I can't make it to the conference, so I want to geofence the people that are going to the conference, for example. Or and just not just that, but you can geofence them, capture the audience, and then retarget those people for up to
Mm-hmm.
30 days as well. So it's not just hitting them while they're at the conference, it's retargeting them for a period of time, which becomes another pretty nice value prop.
Yeah.
And so that's another way. But, again, I do believe personally that, there are certain channels that are better than others. We do have some clients that do the event targeting just as a standalone by itself. And there are times when it does make a difference and make an impact. And then there's other cases where you still have to implement other omni-channel strategies.
Yeah.
It's kind of like saying, you know what, I'm going to run a Google Ads campaign, but I have the worst website in the world, kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's never just one thing that's going to solve all of your marketing problems. It's the confluence of multiple things that allows for geofencing, for Google Ads, for Facebook, and all these other channels to make an impact along
Yeah.
with your messaging, things of that nature. That's usually the sort of the conversation that we're having with.
How long does it take someone from when they hear this episode and they go, this is the coolest thing ever, to actually have their geofenced ads live?
Usually it's no more than 2 weeks. Typically all we really need are the locate. Well, once you need to get a sense of what budget is, typically, there are some larger platforms that require tens of thousands of dollars. For us, we're able to do, geofencing campaigns between 1,500 to 2,500 or more. It depends on the strategy and the use case.
Mm-hmm.
But, I would say, and that's per month. But, I would say that as long as you have the locations that you want to geofence, right? The creative ads themselves, and mind you, you can use both video, it's like pre-roll video, or static banner ads to do geofencing with. So as long as you have the creative ads, the URL that you want to send the traffic to, and you've had some conversation around strategy, some of the things that you're doing already, usually teams can get the campaigns live within a week and a half to 2 weeks tops. On the
Hmm.
low end, like three to 5 business days typically. Doesn't really take long. That's been our experience, though.
This is fascinating as I'm thinking about for my lending company. I thought about going to more trade shows this year, which we
Yeah,
haven't done that ever because the company was my mom's company. I bought it, I've grown the team a bunch, and I actually have humans now that I could say, yeah, I could go or myself be at a trade show.
right,
Well, and I think, well, oh, yeah, what if I, go to 4 trade shows a year? But then geofence ads. So while people are at the trade show, they're seeing a video of me saying, hey there, I'm at booth 5. And then for the 30 days after saying, hey there. And if I can say, hey, you either came by my booth or not, but have a very specific, yeah, here's the same face that maybe you saw at booth 5.
right,
And
right,
especially, here's the interesting thing, Justin, that industry is a laggard industry on the tech side. So there's all kinds of things that my other business, the marketing business, would be completely normal. But then when I look at the lending business, it's like, no, this is an incredible concept that probably no one else is doing.
right,
So
right.
I'm really excited about deploying cutting edge stuff into a laggard industry. And like, wow, there's only one guy there who was running an ad on us as he was also direct mailing us before and afterwards, etc.
Well, to your point, what we've also done, and I'll tell you like a conference strategy that's pretty cool. The first is, let's say we got a list of all the people that are going to be there. You could use CRM retargeting or addressable geofencing or quote unquote household geofencing, where you take the email addresses or the physical addresses and you serve as them before the conference, right? We got that covered. And then when the people go there, you geofence the conference for a period of time. And then you hit them while they're there. And then also you save that audience for future retargeting purposes. So you can retarget them up to 30 days after they've left the conference as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last piece is you have some form of site retargeting deployed on your site. So if anybody that clicked, you're hitting those people again and again and again, raising your awareness profile for those people that you're trying to cultivate that relationship with. Now we're getting into some more sophisticated digital strategies that's leveraging geofencing as the core, but then pulling other things in that can help you maximize your exposure to those folks. And again, and again, I'm the first person that says this, I don't always look at geofencing as sort of a quote unquote lead gen tactic. I do believe that there are other tactics like Google Ads, Facebook, where it's lower funnel, someone who's in market. But if you're deploying it right and your messaging is proper, it can have a really nice impact. We've had plenty of clients that have used event targeting and event geofencing essentially to get in front of folks and says, yo, I saw your ads. It's that kind of thing, which is kind of nice.
Justin, this has been an incredible and delightfully brief primer on geofencing. My brain is already exploding with possibilities. For someone else who's listening, they're like, oh, I could use it this way. I could use it that way. Where do they go to talk to you about how to get this deployed for their conference strategy or their along with the silent or direct mail strategy or anything else?
Sure. No, I definitely appreciate that. You can easily visit www.propellant.media. It's easy as that. Propellant.media. If you do a search for us, you'll find us.
Wonderful. Justin, thank you for being on Redbeard Radio.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure, Brian.